grave to understand. Not grave means that grave, but grave
Where is the
punishment.
where is the punishment of grave in Quran?
I remember I asked you this a few years back. So you told me that there is some verses in Quran about grave punishment. I checked the Quran. I was not able to find it.
It is not there.
So there is nothing called grave punishment there.
No.
Once we die, directly it's judgment day for us.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Any question?
Let's discuss. You can talk about this topic today, Doctor. If the people of a nation are not living life according to Allah's will, then the rulers,
People of
people of any nation, if they are
yeah.
not abiding by the laws of Allah, then Allah will put them, the rulers according to, who can torment them. I I think there is
Even
a
for
verse. I think there is a verse in Quran which says if people are all the people of a nation are doing evil works, then Allah will punish them through the rulers. Those will torment them, punish them, and such kind of atrocities will happen.
you mean the life of hell?
Yes. So now the same situation is happening in India or elsewhere in the world.
Hmm.
That can be a good topic. And one more question I have, Doctor. Are we the people of Muhammad? Like there were people of Abraham, people of Jesus,
We are
people.
all people of Adam, including all prophets.
Yes, yes. That is understood. But Quran specifically says, "Oh, people of like Moses was sent to Jews, right? Likewise,
Okay.
Abraham had his own people. Noah has his own people. Those who were following him. So, are we the people of Muhammad?
Okay. Any questions? Other questions? Anybody else have?
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Sir, Kavita here.
Yes.
I don't have the English version of the Quran, but in the Tamil version, Adhyayam 4, Vasanam 25.
Okay.
Chapter
In
4,
that,
verse number 25.
yeah, that's right. It, in that, it talks about women, one who is free-willed, சுதந்திரமான பெண்கள், இன்னொன்று அடிமை பெண்கள். How does it, how can we find it fitting to today's context?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And as women, we tend to abide and go by the family customs and traditions. So when people misunderstand us, whom should we really be truthful to? I feel we should really be truthful to God. Probably, are we doing it in the wrong way that we are being misunderstood by the people in house?
Mm. So let us see 425.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Chapter 4, verse number 25. And whoever among you cannot the means to marry free believing women. Who are the free believing women? The free believing women are who took to the righteousness on their own without somebody inducting them into a religion, who had a free mind to apply one's thought to the life, and who sees the turbulence, tumult, and chaos in the public. They think that why God has created all this evil to be a part of this world so that it is ultimately the humans who suffer. Everyone is given a free mind, but all these people mostly they follow a group of people. They follow a religious leader and they fall into sections and schisms. They divide the humanity into sections, one vying with another in terms of majority, and one marginalizing the other by means of their smallness in number because they are weak or they are rendered weak. If only you stay righteous because of your individual thinking, because you are a man of worthiness, that you give thought to your furthering the knowledge that you possess already. The knowledge must be well thought about, pondered, give more intense insight into it, and start getting the message, the essence of whatever is going on around us. And whoever among you doesn't have the means to marry free believing women. God says you marry those who, not by choice, not by chance, but by choice, they become believing women. Not by heritage, they follow a particular religion. Not because of their ancestors, they are following a religion. They are not marrying a free believing woman. If only you are committed to the righteousness and follow that which is good for you and for the society, they follow in their mind the message of God, the guidance from God. Such are the people are made to live free, given by God the freedom to live in this world amidst plentiful of groups of people all around you, always they are in the world, and each section is an enemy to another section. So there are enemies all around you in incalculable numbers. Don't be in such groups wherein you will be identified by another group as an enemy, by all the groups as an enemy. If there are 100 groups, one group is enemy to 99 groups. Each and every group of these 100 groups is wide with by other groups of people. They are considered as lesser than the other group. Each one thinks superior of themselves. Allah doesn't like such division, like such majoritarianism or minoritarianism. He doesn't like the divisions of the people into groups, so he wants you to be single, not identifying yourself to any other group. If you are single, then you are God created person. The way He has created you, you have maintained that individuality. He created you singly. So I want to be single all the while, all through my life. I don't want to adhere to any group. I want to listen to the ones who speak from their soul, who speak from their heart, who speak the truth, who imparts peace, calmness to the person because he is not belonging to any group. Whoever is not belonging to any group, they speak only the truth. So a free-minded person will speak the truth. A free-minded boy or girl who come into matrimonial relationship, they will have a splendid life because a free person, an individual person who lived by the individual understanding, they will give and take, they will communicate, they will try to understand, communicating the truth in such vividity and clarity. They will be having the urge to imbibe the better knowledge, go for the better wisdom, always. These are the people who are fit to live a peaceful and calm life in this world. If you are a single person, then you will have more tolerance. You will have no pride. You will be giving more than taking. And you will be of a person who can listen to intently because you want to develop. You want some sort of mind level upgrading, mind level steadfastness in preserving and going for the peace, going for a better solution, going for a better understanding, wanting a better perception, and your cognizance will be much brighter. Your perception is so deep, and there is a penetrating quality in you for each and every aspect that you can see as your life, different walk of life, different ways of life you will see as an individual. Because I am an individual, I am a free person, I want protection from the truthfulness, from the point of justness. I have more ideas in my mind, better prospects in the mind, ability to take the sense out of everything that happens in the world, and I will be following the truth. I will have some fear in me for a moral support, not for a for support from the people who are majority, whom I consider that major group, the majority group, and the people in greater numbers will be of help to me, will be a protection for me. I will not consider that way because I brought up myself, I bred myself with freedom of thinking. Freedom of speech is not important. Freedom to think. See, don't seek anything from the people, but seek everything from God. That godliness you preserve. Freedom of speech, one will say this you should not have talked. One will say it doesn't mean that you can hurt another person. It doesn't mean you can speak and air out the falsehood without cross checking it. All those things that people will try to control you, they will try to remove your freedom. They will make all sorts of restraints on you that you feel agitated in your mind. That fracas that's going in my mind, definitely I cannot withstand the feeling of intense agitation in me. I cannot tolerate anymore. I burst into anger, or my reaction will be not so good to society. It will be troublesome. Anger causes uneasiness and disturbance and commotion in the city, in the minds of the people. If you have maintained your singularity only for the sake of the Almighty, you will have the fear of the Almighty. He is the one who will institute you with the wisdom and the application of wisdom into real life. Then the truth comes from your hands, from your communications, from your activities and actions, and from your thoughts. Here, whoever among you cannot have that free mind unless you are single, that free mind is not there. If you are dependent on someone, the freedom is curtailed to a great extent. If you have your free thinking, nobody is there to stop it because it is between you and your own self. That self is your soul. Between your mind and soul, all communications going on in abstractness so that others cannot touch it. Others cannot put a block to it. You will be tutored, intuited by the godliness, what is life and what is future, and how you tread in this life towards a successful ending when I die. Everyone here will have to die one day. But we don't think about the death. Death is for everyone. It will come at a time when you don't expect. And you cannot foretell when you will die. You may die in 100 years or 200 years. You may die in 2 years or 20 years. God knows. You do not know. Have the freedom to think. So I have nothing to lose, but everything to gain by way of mind. Believe in your gaining ground, in your peace, and the sign that gives you the way towards the peace. Unfailing peace. Peace strengthening the peace. Every moment will be a onward march towards the heightened level of understanding what peace means to the society, what peace means to you as an individual. You will lead a unrestrained, uncuffed, unrestricted life, a life of freedom with the freedom of thought. Freedom of expression, no need, because to some it may be palatable, to some it may not be agreeable, but if you have freedom to think, nobody can intrude into you. Only God is strengthening. God is answering the questions. Because I am single, I don't join with any band. I know I don't join with any branded people. I don't join with any group. I cannot myself dissect into two or four. God is there with you and He speaks the truth to you, and the truth becomes my life. If I join hands with a group of people, I lose my individual thinking. We know We are created as an individual human being. We are not created herded together as sheep or cattle. How do we join groups and how do we join bands of people? How do you think that because of the people abounding me, I am safe and well protected? Your mind is the one that gets hurt. Your mind is the one that becomes jittery. Your mind loses its strength to believe in the next life. Next life means if you are a people having a concept, next life is after your death. If you're an individual, next life is next moment. Because I always have fear about the next moment. I am an individual. I am not sharing with anyone. God is all the while helping me in my endeavor, in my trial, in my efforts, with greater success and lesser failures. Whatever escapes from me, I will not be worried because God says, don't worry over what you have lost. Don't brood over what has gone wrong against you. Never worry about the evil nature of the presenting situation. Let it be from any group of people. Never worry, but always think about the future in the way I am entreating you, in the way I am communicating to you. I am speaking to you, have a better life. There's no two ways about it. His word is one clear message to you. Communication is so perfect, vivid, have a better life, have a good life. What is awaiting for you is the best life. Believe whatever you wanted in this three manner good, better, and best. And believe if you are just everything around you will be in a justified manner, I will create that those things that are surrounding you, your atmosphere, your nature, everything will be welcoming you with a great salam. Have peace. My mind is instantly becoming peaceful the moment I hear the communication of God from somewhere. It confluences in my soul and then it is communicating to my mind. Such concentration of God's blessings is absorbed, imbibed by the leave of God, by the soul, by everyone's soul, according to their earning of the past. However much they have strived in this earth based on the concepts and ideas and splits of groups, it is not going to avail anything from God. If you are single and individual, not associating people with God so that they can help you, that associations removed, God is much satisfied with you because you are not associating people to God. When you have the knowledge, you think that I have the power of knowledge, I have the ability to live, and I have the ability to survive to any great length, whatever be the misfortune that shall shroud me. It is absolutely wrong. When a misfortune is hovering above you, it is the fear and seeking forgiveness from God, protection from God, help from God, mercy from God, and His love for you, His kindness for you definitely will be of great strength and a reward for you. God has not placed any shortage of His blessings over the human beings if only they are individuals. Now you will understand. And whoever among you cannot find the means to marry free believing women. If you are free You'll be free to choose your woman. If you're free to, you'll feel free to marry whoever seems befitting, belonging to you. That individuality has the power to pick up one woman most suitable for you because you are a free man. You are living as an individual. You are living in fear for which God's love and kindness will be there for you all the time. His mercy comes to you as a blessing, and that blessing is your wisdom. That wisdom will be the light of beacon for you and for others. It is the light upon light. Thereafter, every single moment you will be improving in your standards higher than the one before, from one stage to another stage. Become single now if you want your future life to be effectively in your favor. That you need not compromise with any other person because you don't belong to any group. You are not answerable to any leadership but God. When God becomes your leader, there is nothing miscommunication to you from your God. There's nothing I may miss out on something, the most beautiful and the best of the explanations when He communicates to me because I am single. When you are single, you will always have a fear. That fear automatically goes to the godliness in you. And there's a range of communication, an array of communication from the angels, from the God, from the good people that pour on you, and you'll have the choice to decide upon the best one, and your own message will be surpassing every other person's communication to you, every other person's wisdom. Your wisdom will be transforming, transcending over all the others' wisdom. This is more likely when you are more and more live as an individual, not belonging to, not tied down by any group. Even your family members cannot tie you up. People are saying now I'm aging. There is no uh, bride for me, and I'm getting old. When I will get married? Say to them, marriage is not a criterion for your living. For your living, God's blessing and God's mercy is more important. He, by His favor, is making you live, and He, by His favor, has given you the peace. What more you want? Now you want another person for your joint living. Your individuality is at stake now. You are likely to lose your balance. So when you are maintaining your freedom in thought level all the time, then you are fit enough to marry a woman with whom you will have give and take, with whom you will have the respect that will be mutual, whom you will not be considering lesser than you, and you will bow before those who are weak and perform Allah's guidance upon this earth. If you have that quality, God will bring you a free thinking partner, a a girl for the boy and boy for a girl. He will bring the partner. There is no one who should see a partner and tie you up in marriage under their blessing, the group blessing. No, God must bless you. God alone must bless you. People cannot bless because their life, just you can see how the married life is. It's everyone, there is only a compromise. Life, one having a superior hold and controlling with force the other partner. It could be either male or the female. That is the compromised life. That is the life of a slavery. slavish mentality, one having the superior power, other becoming a slave. This is how always their life is going on. Or they don't like each other, that's how their life will fall apart. Now, how will you marry a person until and unless you become free, independent? You have no means to marry another person. You have no strength to withhold your individuality to marry another person. You will neither become a slave to another person, or you will be finding the way to control another person. To subdue to the person who is controlling, controller also bad, subduing is also bad. Their marriage is incompetent in the eyes of Allah. Those who are steadfast in being maintaining in their individuality, they are the persons who, with God's blessings, by His providence, He will bring a partner for lifelong beautiful relationship. So, if you want to marry because of your hastiness, you may be 50 years old, still because of your hastiness, if you marry. Maybe 60 years, because of the hastiness, if you marry, wait until Allah brings you a partner. He may or he may not. If he doesn't, that's more suitable for your individuality. If he brings, still you have a large heartedness to give and compromise, but not compromising with the godliness, but compromising as to who is superior. I am not at all superior. That compromise, if you can have, definitely you are free to marry a girl, and God's help will be there. One must be having the giving mentality only out of fear for God. He must make my life pleasant and beautiful all the way till the death captures me. These are the right-handed people you are allowed to marry. Who are the right-handed people now? Those who had a pure mind, not inclining towards sex, until such time you marry, which sex will happen in an accidental manner. And it is not for the sex they are marrying, but it is for the comfort they are marrying. It is for their calmness and quietness. And that serene calmness you can marry. For that peace you can marry. And the sex, it is only an accident or an occasional a chance happening. This is how you have the right hand possessed people from them, whomever you are willing to marry, because you know them personally very well. And you know them how there's give and take attitude between you and the right handed person who would not have thought about sex at all in such relationships. They are the right handed people, righteous people. They are not ugly people. They don't have that fornicated mind. They do not have that that immoral behavior, that indecent way of mental makeup. You know pretty well they are not inclined towards the lowly pleasures, but there's a beautiful relationship, dignified relationship. There's a moral responsibility between you two people, and sex is the remotest need, and that's not a major concern at all. They are the right-handed people. Among them, you can marry. So there's no arranged marriage at all in Islam. Going by 425. And Allah is most knowing about your faith. Faith means here the faithfulness, the gratitude you show to the commandments of Allah, and fear not falling away from His commandment, thinking that He cannot see me, thinking that He may be taken for granted, and don't have a rough ride in your life, taking granted Allah's benevolence and generousness. He is severe in punishing also. If you are not behaving up to the mark, not committing sin on another person, that sin is curtailing the freedom to think. There's no freedom to speech. I cannot abuse you. I cannot say wrong words. I cannot speak immorally. That's not freedom. But freedom must be there in the minds of the person. God has given freedom to everyone. So you become an individual. Until and unless you are an individual, that godliness you cannot receive. The message from Him, the truth you cannot receive. You will be greatly pained at heart because you are a group of people and there will be a leader for all the groups. And in your house, you have got a group living. This living, one will be the leader for this group, this groupism. There's always a leader who will try to put down your level of life. He will not give you a free hand, free thinking, free expression, free way of living also. They will not allow you. And you have no steadfastness to live singly. The belief in God, He is my friend, He is my savior, He is my sustenance, He is my provider, He is my guide, He is my protector. Those belief in Him will be lost, and you will be believing only in the people around you who will not give you any assurance in your hard hit times, who cannot give their promise that they will come to your help and relieve you of all your sufferings by believing us, by being in this group. Human beings have no capacity at all to relieve one from his ailment, to free one's punishment when it comes from Allah. And they are not going to gain as relief from every relief measure your group of people will give you. Rather, it can complicate your life in this world. So that is the thing we find here, and Allah is most knowing about your faith. If you are faithful, showing your thanks to Him, Allah will make you single. There is none to overpower you, none to override you. Nobody can overtake you, and you have got the strongest belief because of your gratefulness. Show of thanks to Allah because of your faithfulness. The greatest of all power in a human being is the show of thanks to Allah for which He bestows on you all His favor. He bestows on you every protection from every kind of allurement. There's no seduction in your life. There's no enticement will play havoc in your life. You are a man of dignity and honor before the eyes of other people because you are single. So, this is the moment you will have your freedom, that you will be living singly, though you are living in a joint family. Though you are living together, the decency will be upheld. by God because you are faithful to Allah for all the good things He has given you. And you remember in Allah only, your reliance is in Allah. Upon Him you rely and put your faith in Him, put your trust in Him that He will not leave you abandoned at any given time. So, marry them. You are of one another because of your belief. I have arranged for you. Let Allah arrange your marriage. If only you are a righteous person behaving with the women and women behaving with the men with justice and with purity, one helping the other, no inclination towards sex at all during all their living together as a family. Now Allah says you can choose when He brings a companion to you. Such should be the arranged one under the blessing of God. So marry them with the permission of their people. The permission from the people will definitely come to you because they will not find a partner unto each other. Allah has blocked their becoming a partner to the unbecoming of a human nature. I am being all alone, single, in the way He has created me. I am maintaining my dignity and honor, and it will not be becoming of me if I marry a partner who is not suitable to me. So Allah chooses someone who is most perfect as your partner, and when that happens, people will bestow their blessings on you because they are finding hard to make partners, find partners. Now it is coming in such natural way. Definitely is a good relief for them to put them in the wedlock and give them a life of their own. There will not be any hitch in this, no obstruction to this. It is in Allah's hands that He is the doer of the righteousness. He is the caretaker of what is just, and there it is happening now. So marry them with the permission of your own people and their people, and give them the due compensation according to what is acceptable. In this way, I can cite an example. Two people were in love with each other, but the caste system is a barrier to make them come into wedlock. They waited, and waited years together. That patience Allah gave. And when the right time comes, they get into the wedlock. Though the bride's family is poor and with great hardship, they gave education to the girl, the individual thinking, that individuality that is showing of faith towards the God who created that girl, gave the saved money, 4 lakhs, to the parents and left the money totally in their care and came out empty handed. Now, with God's blessing, the people from the groom's side accepted and they are leading a goodly, godly life. For all time to come, they are going to be a model before others to show the world how to be peacefully getting in the path of Allah the life they wanted, the life one can give by the patience and peace. Preserve these two for sake of Allah until Allah's help comes through. It is there all the way. It is coming to you, coming nearer and nearer to you because your love for each other is so strong. Your need for each other is so strong, but patience and peace is even more stronger. That is the show of thanks to your God. So the due compensation is given to them who may lament thereupon that I spent so much money, but this girl utilized all, and thanklessly she has left us. She has ditched us. Now these things cannot be spoken. All the earnings, all the savings are given to them, to the parents, coming out empty-handed. This is how Allah makes you live every sentence, every verse of this Holy Quran. The message is so clear. And whether they knew this and did it, that's different. But Allah made them do this, made them practice this, and finally He shows which ayat they practiced, which verse they practiced, and give them their due compensation according to what is acceptable. I have nothing more. You gave me the education, I was earning the money, and all the savings I have not spent but left it in your care, and I have come out clean. Not one, two, three, but four. All money I have given in lakhs to you, and I have come out individually and with peace and perseverance in peace and patience. God given life is so beautiful. And my descendants will be so graciously protected by Allah, will be guided by Allah. And that guidance is far supreme than the education these people have given who are in a joint family, controlling one another, vying with each other, not giving a free mind to think. That's bad. But still, the compensation in this world has been given to them. They should be chaste. They should not be indecent. They should be well preserved, well mannered. And you also preserve your manners and be careful about your mannerisms, letting loose your internal hidden emotions. The evil nature of it need not smite one another. Neither those who commit unlawful indecent living, and they should not be involved in corrupt way of life, spoilt way of life. They are the right-handed people. So easy. These right-handed people also very, very rare and scarce. All the other people, single people, definitely they are bound to be falling to the desires and inducements of shaitans. The glamour of the falsehood, the glamour of your life that's going to be disastrous. But today it may be glittering and welcoming light, but soon it will be fading into thinness. So such should not be your mentality and mind of both the partners who are to be brought into wedlock by Allah. Remember, you preserve your chasteness, preserve your modesty, and preserve your decency. Be careful about your mannerisms, which may signal one another to fall into the trap of Shaitan and commit adultery. Nor those who take to secret pleasures, but once they are sheltered in marriage, if they should commit adultery, then for them is half the punishment for free women. Those who lived by the control, under the control, severe control of the parenthood, of the joint family, of the elders, not given a free thinking and not guided in free thinking because the joint family, none of them know what a free thinking is. and none of them are in guidance whatsoever. So they are brought up in a spoiled atmosphere, and this has got a tremendous impact. You can give punishment to those people who are not guided, but those who are righteous and properly guided, if they commit this indecency in the society, the punishment given to the righteous minded people when they falter is double the punishment of he or she who has been brought up in a spoiled society, not given a free thinking, not given freedom, not given a guidance, because the people who control them, who lived as a joint family and group, they themselves are not in proper guidance. And Allah is most forgiving, most merciful. Whoever fears Allah, none has the capacity, none has the righteousness to uphold their verdict in terms of punishment to another person when a person who judges himself is not in guidance. So finally, no punishment. Even if they have done open adultery, Allah says that it is a sin has to warrant a punishment, but you cannot punish one another because none is pure. So leave it to Allah. If you fear Allah, you don't commit punishment, mete out punishment, but leave it to Allah. Allah is most forgiving, most merciful. Even if they have done the worst indecent act, definitely you will be mercifully forgiving, for you fear Allah for your own indecency. So this is the meaning of the verse. Now, what is your question? What's your question now, based on what you have read and understood of the ayat?
Uh, I understand that as per our fear to God, our life partner, we get our life partners.
If you are a free individual, maintain your freedom all through your growth. And people who do not bog you down, fetter you with in their discipline of formality, in the discipline of their own nature, or you call it some customs that you follow, some culture you follow, and without any thought, we'll be following the culture, plainly, literally, without understanding what you're doing. So that is the stigma in the eyes of Allah, not living as an individual. Still, God forgives you for what you did. When God has forgiven you, there is none who can own the leadership quality and punish a person for the sins or mistakes or the crime they have done. Because whoever punishes, he has no authority, for he himself is not in guidance. Do we understand this?
Yes, sir, I understand that.
Now, what's your question in this? For whatever question you started, and you gave the verse and chapter.
I wanted to wanted the difference between free-willed women and slaved women. That was the. Now
That's
I got
understood
it.
now?
Yes, that's
Yes.
understood now. Yes, thank you.
Yes. Any question now? The punishment in hell and the reward in heaven, Allah will guide us to in the appropriate moment of time. Now the whole world is hell because none has a free mind. Everyone has a religion, everyone has a sect, everyone has a group, and these groups and the groups and the people are more and more dividing into fragments, smaller and smaller, invisible and minuscule fragments. Also, there are groups still being invented, and newer sections are all the time developing, breaking and breaking and breaking. This is the life of hell. Finally, one single individual will remain. That is the turning point. How many sections are there? All those people again and again and again they will fragment. They will be punishing each other. They will be destroying each other. They will be hypocritical in their life. And because of that, only hardship, only chaos, confusion. And it is very difficult for their very survival for 3 times meal. That is the punishment here. And the diseases will be abounding. Forever it will be increasing. And there is not one disease or two diseases. As long as you are taking the help of the people, a medical fraternity, a ritual line of life that we are leading now, minus the righteousness. I don't call it spiritual life, a ritual life without morality, individual life with all sorts of decency, that God given blessing, which life you want. There's no joint living in Islam, but live singly. Only He is your companion, He is your friend, He is your guide, He is your protector, He is your feeder, He is your in-tutor, He is your giver of peace, the granter of faith, and the world will be full of helping hand for you. And there's not a competitor against you. There's not a spoiler of your life in the whole of your career in this world. So there's nothing like being all alone and single. But we fear, I cannot live single in this world. I have no protection. They are the ones who have not understood who God is. But they say we believe in God. If they are believers in God, stay single. How can you set up partners? This is what I ask you. When I am your creator, when I created singly, how can you set up partners to me and think that still you can lead your life? Much against my wish on you. Stay single. Stay well bred. I will develop you into a competent person in the world of competitions. That will be your supremacy against them. Chapter 74, verse number 11. The life of health starts in this world when you don't lead a life of an individual. chapter 10, chapter 74, verse number 10. For the disbelievers in this, the life is not easy. So don't be an unbeliever. Don't think that with your group, with your people, with your majority, you can lead a healthy life, well protected life. That's not your life guaranteed for you. You'll be miserable in the end. So don't be a disbeliever while you fear your life if you don't have people, more people to help you. Definitely, God alone is your helper, not the people. If that be your case, Allah says, leave me with one I created all alone. He has not made these people as companion, as helper to create every single individual in a perfect order that each and everyone is an individual, not different to one another. So if they are disbelievers, they cannot lead the life of an individual, lead them to me. I created them singly, I will deal with him. The whole world can be their majority group in which they are a member. Definitely, they cannot protect him when God has set set a, 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 a creation like a situation which is so much chastising, punishing them to the extent that there is no escape for them. World put together, all put together, they cannot save him from the punishment on that day. So every single individual will be punished by way of diseases, punished by way of poverty, punished by way of both. There is none to help you. See the corona today. There's no one to help you. Anytime the health authorities can come and take you away, you have no question to talk to them. You have no way to plead with them except by bargaining, or they keep your relative ransom for that bargain. That is the situation now, right? So don't lead a ritual life. Don't lead a life of involving groupism. Don't divide yourself into various sections. You are one human being, one human nature if you live an individual life. So we are now becoming individuals. You are married people. You have the progeny, the descendants you have, the offsprings you have the children. But from this moment onwards, each one will be single, only for Allah's sake, and leave all your matters with Allah. He will deal with your household. Everyone will be individually towering above all the other people who live as in a joint life, who culturally associate themselves into groups and who boast about the majoritarianism and they do chaos, corruption, perpetration, and whatnot. Definitely, they will be dealt with as a single group, they will be wiped away. If you are single among them, you will be the one who will be saved by Allah. So we are now entering into a world, a new world of individual nature. The whole world is for that individual. Likewise, the whole world is for each individual. How great it will be. Now, grouping together, all the world is one, and we are in the midst of such constraints. So difficult even to breathe because of the jam, because of the people hustled one against the other. So I think this is enough for the day. If you have any questions concerning this ayat, you can call me, ask me. You can ask me, lead a single life of an individual or singly. Otherwise, Allah says, leave him alone who will join the groups to save against my punishment. Leave them to me. I created them singly. I will deal. The entire group is a single mass, wipe them out. If he doesn't lead a single life, he will also be one among them. Individually also he will be punishing, and as group also he will be eliminating. So we fear Allah, and this fear is well reciprocated to us by way of mercy and forgiveness, by way of favor. That is a beautiful reciprocation which would reward from him. That will be today's message of God's grace. I talked very feebly, but were you able to hear clearly?
Hello.
Yes?
Yes, doctor.
Okay.
So regarding question about the groupism, the people are doing services, so they join the group and they do services. Uh, uh,
Materially,
like
materially.
materially as well as they do service for food. Now it is in
Yes,
the
materially,
situation.
materially. Food is
The
another
food also.
material.
Okay.
How to overpower these natural disasters? That's important. After it has come, you can give food, okay? But you cannot drain away the floodwaters. You can give food, but it is not the shelter they used to live comfortably. It is like a heavy compromise. I am living to hold up my life, but still I am holed up in a deep, grave situation from which I cannot come out. So, what help you are doing? What message you will give them? How will you bring peace in their mind? The value is life, not the physical comfort of life, but the mental level of grip upon the will of God, command of God, that He will make me survive with a better reward than what I have lost. If only I have peace, perseverance in peace, endurance in my suffering days, and believing in Him alone for a better life that will not be removed from me for life. So, how will you deal with such
It's
people, such instances?
it's individual people has to turn into God, right? So if either
If,
if we have a group we can ask them the way, or they
yeah,
have to turn uh, only.
Allah says if one single person is there who is an individual, I choose him as a messenger for another person for the entire mass. As long as that messenger is with you, he is not going to take you for a ride. And if there is a good person in one family, that family will never be put to any suffocation in life as long as that person is there as a part of the family. So in every person, in every family, there must be an individual who strives by his individuality. They have the power to stall any evil affecting them, any mishaps happening on them, and the other people who believe one another, they are well protected because of that single person in your family who is a free man by the grace of God. For his sake, the whole family. For another person's sake, the whole community. For another person's sake, the whole area, the whole state is saved from being erased from the earth by the catastrophic changes happening as natural disasters in the world. So avoid a catastrophe. Don't wait for the catastrophe to happen and giving them the relief work. It is not relief work at all. God saves them. Your relief does not. It is only a test for you if you are spending, if you have any mercy left in you. That you show for sake of Allah, and He is going to reward you for that. The more you give, the best will be the reward for you. But who can dispel a disaster from happening? Individuals. Are you clear? Yeah.
Sir, then how about the leaders? Um,
Leaders should not be
they.
there. Leaders should not be there. Each and every one
Okay.
must have the quality of leadership.
Mhm.
One will be controlling the other when they fail to adhere to the constitution of a human nature. So everybody must be vigilant in preserving the dignity and honor that their God has commanded on this mankind. That humanity, the humanness must be well preserved. Unless you are single, you will never know what humanity is. You do not know what humanness is. How I can dispel a disaster, a natural catastrophe, can be overpowered by a single individual in every community, in every area, in every house. This is how you will be safeguarding a society. If you are living without any disaster happening presently, it is because of single-minded individuals are scattered, dispersed all through Tamil Nadu. Which one you want? You want a disaster to happen and then help them? You want leadership? Who will try to safeguard himself because he has got the leadership, but he can involve in any criminal act, like our politicians. What's the point in keeping the leadership now? All unscrupulous elements are leaders now. Every bad element will take the political route. Where is the question of leadership that is going to help you?
Mm.
We are today helpless. No education, no money, no job. To what extent we will be driven to, we do not know, but it is going worse. The man invented capacity. The man instilling the catastrophe into the human nature is much worse now. The humanity is at stake now. Become single, it is now on the way to survival.
Understand, Doctor, but um, still, God grace need to understand more on in the deeper path. Thank you, Doctor.
Do you hear me or I'm cut off?
Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Salam.
Tausif Kalim, sir.
Yes, Tausif.
Yeah, can I ask you, sir, or will?
Yeah, can.
Yeah, sir, actually, you're speaking about sects and different groups.
I am not speaking about
No,
sex.
my question, sir. Like we have different groups and different sects.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the
Only male
question,
and female, that's all, no?
no, but like for example, in Surah Baqarah,
Yes.
Allah like starts like believers and non-believers, and then mock the some person who are mocking and then who are not mocking, and then again like some corruptors and non-corruptors, and then again some like in Quran it said munafiqun and non-munafiqun. So
Yes.
this is where the groups and sects and leaders get developed.
Yeah, sections. Where goes
Yeah,
all
sections get developed.
untoward characters, not befitting godliness, they are non-believers. All groups are including non-believers. Those who do not speak the truth, but they speak two ways about hiding something and saying something, making them to believe and cheating later on, they are munafiq ones. They are hypocrites. So
Yeah.
all groups are included in the non-believer section. The believers are those who fear God and preserve godliness, and to a great extent they stay righteous. They speak the truth. They will not hide something and say openly against the truth they are hiding. And there's no cheating, no hypocrisy. They are all falling into another group. That is godly group. So there's
So
only two sects, not multiple
so
sects.
finally, there's two groups.
Finally, only two groups: believers and non-believers.
Okay.
Believers
So
have all
everyone
the good
thinks we are
qualities.
believers and they blame others. The other blames we are believers and they blame that they are non-believers.
Among the believers, they blame each other. In the
Okay.
same family, they divide and fall apart. How things are happening in every household. They are enemies into each other, unto each other. Are they the believers?
No.
So when you join yourself into a group, you become a disbeliever. Become single for the sake of Allah, and He will join you all together, all the right-minded people. There you become brothers and sisters, real relationship develops.
Yes, sir. One more doubt, sir.
Yeah.
In Quran, it is said like for the thieves, you're telling about punishment and all. So there it says cut off their hands. So
Yes.
is it not again punishment? Like you're telling there's no punishment, leave it alone to Allah.
Take chapter 5, verse number 38.
Yes, sir.
So read 538.
Okay, sir. Thief, male or female, as a recompense to their sin from Allah, cut their hands off of you, and Allah is might wise. And in one
So
more
what
it
do you
says,
mean by cut? Cut them off. We are saying no. When they are unruly, cut them off from the society. So put them in the prison. Don't allow them to lead a life of free man. So we are cutting them off from the society. How is it possible now? Because we put them in the prison. So they cannot lay their hands upon the normally law-abiding people living in the society. So what do you mean by cutting the hands off now?
putting them far away from the society.
That's it.
Okay. Yes, sir. Understood.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah. Any question? We'll see tomorrow. If you have questions, come. We'll see. If you have questions, still you can ask. We'll see tomorrow, inshallah.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you, Doctor.
We'll see tomorrow, inshallah.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you, Doctor.